Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are back on the original project we were going to start this year, which is the V2 Limitless. We were going to put a dual motor in here, and although doable, right now it's all about the funds, right? So project after project after project can't be funded. This car is ready to go, other than it sat all winter and I can see that the shock oil leaked out. We've got a ride height that's just too high here in the front, and the back is in pretty good shape. You can see that comes up. So we're going to take these off. We got diff fluid, feels good. So we're going to take this apart. We have a V2, I believe we have a Perfect Pass V2 kit here. So we have the V2 kit. So we're going to go ahead and get this put in just to prevent any issues. And let me back this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. V2 kit comes to rear drive shaft, front drive shaft. If you guys haven't figured out you're doing a lot of Perfect Pass builds, we have spare pins, spare bearings, spare screws, all very important. We have a spool, washers, your front drive shaft and your rear, and then your center hub. So basically we'll be taking apart the whole front diff, pulling it out. We're going to look at that, tear it down and see if it leaked over the winter. And well, we're still in the winter, but get it ready for this spring. This is Castle motor. Yeah, you guys know I love Castle. The first guy in modern, or first family, I should say, Austin Mason and I, first family to hit 200 miles an hour with modern Castle equipment, other than, 10 years ago when I think his name was Nick did it. So, anyways, let me grab my tools, and I still like the original Limitless. It's probably my favorite. It is not aerodynamic by any means, guys. So, and the worst thing about driving these things was always you hit something with these little front splitters, they break apart and they're done. And you gotta buy a whole new body, right? I believe there's somebody out there that makes those. If anybody knows who it is, please let me know. And let's get the 2.5. Let's see here. Take the whole front end off. Gonna take these 2 screws out here. Get my old grandpa glasses on. Two top screws, and then again 4 screws in the bottom. I always like to put my finger on the other side for the nut so the nut doesn't go flying out, even though it usually ends up falling out at some point. 2 longer screws go in the front, 2 shorter ones go in the back. If you guys ever forget that, pull that off out of the way. And real quick, I'm not sure who makes these. well, it's suction stickers, but Austin and my son Mason had these made for my drag radio, which is also my speedrun radio, my Futaba 10PX. Pretty cool. I put my name on it, so thanks Austin and Mason, and thanks to Suction Stickers. We will appreciate that. All right, back to this thing. Take our 4 diff cover screws off. Guys, I just got new MIP bits and they do not fit in the screws like they used to, so I might have to take a little bit of a file to the edge of them and see if I can get them to go in, because it seems like I should have trouble getting them in the screws. Alright, find our towel here, clean up everything, and let's find a screwdriver here, pop the cover off. There we go. Cover's popped off. And now I should be able to turn this thing here. And let's get our diff out. I should have ordered the Perfect Pass arms for this thing, so I gotta get rid of these little pins. God, do I hate them things with passion. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and take our shocks off. Get them out of the way. And use Austin's little box here. Take the front of the car up. There's one shock, another shock. And just general talk, you guys see that the video Kevin Talbot made with the low-C bike where he put all the aluminum parts on there? That was pretty cool. I've got a low-C bike that I bought not too long ago, probably a week and a half ago. But unfortunately it's been snowing on the ground since I bought it, so can't play with it when there's snow on the ground, and I don't drive my stuff when it's wet. So this week it's also been raining. I do not drive my stuff in water, mud, nothing. I do not like cleaning the cars up or dealing with that kind of stuff. Okay, find this something, man. I put way too much grease in this. If you guys can see that or not. Got enough grease in there for a lifetime. See if I can. My flathead screwdriver over here is usually over here, and it is not. So we will just use a tool here. Scrape this stuff out of here. right. I always like to do everything fresh, guys, even though this grease is new and never been ran. I got this car late last year. There we go. Pardon me. Alright, next thing we're going to do is pull our bar out here so we can get to the center stuff. And usually I'll just fold this back, but because of the workspace, size limitations, I'm going to go ahead and just pop it off and set it off to the side. And pull off our PPS motor mount cover. Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys also seen, but I don't know what's going on. I think his name is Bob from PPS. I have not seen him. I don't see any of the motor mounts available anymore, so hope everything's okay with the man. All right. Brand new set of the V2 shafts, so not a huge waste, but we gotta replace them since we're using the new ones, which have bigger pins in them, and the Trident front shaft with the ball bearings. Now we're gonna go in here and remove the drive cup that's right in there. Which you guys are probably done. Man, I can't see in there. All these lights going the wrong way in this house. All right. Alright, so we got that bad boy off there. Here we go. Here's the one off of the existing shaft. And I am going to drop this motor mount out of here and the motor real quick, just to make it easier to get to everything. So I can see what I am doing. Set it off to the side. All right. So now we can find our flat spot on our shaft. There we go. Make sure we have it all lined up. All right, guys. Short screws going to the center diff. Longer screws, the other ones. Once again, make sure that you put Loctite on those when you put them in there. Looking for a pair of scissors. Here we go. And I'm going to keep my parts all in one spot, one rubber mat, so they're not on the workspace. and keep all of our screws here also. Alright guys, just keeping my screws all in that little rubber spot and little holes in the rubber spot so they don't go away anywhere. And look for any oil down in the threads. And then two and a half millimeter. And a little Loctite on there. And you got 2 screws on that. And a little bit more Loctite on the other one. Okay. We're gonna slide this up on the side so I can see down on there real well, guys. And gals, if there's any watching, just slide this bad boy on here. We are going to tighten it all the way down. Okay, then we're going to rotate it. Okay, and that part is done. Alright, so slide my motor mount back into place over here. If anybody watching and happens to have a PPS dual motor mount or a scorched that they a roto lock, they want to sell it, let me know. Alright, let's get the motor back in. Start working on building our spool here, which will have a shorter spool but a longer rear drive shaft. So we need to take this apart in order to get our parts off of here, or I should say our ball bearings. I hate these pins that Arrma came up with. Pull off our ball bearing. And alright guys, I'll be right back. Alright guys, sorry about that, got a phone call. And you guys know how those work, you gotta take the phone calls. And so we're gonna work on the gearing on this car a little bit and set it up very conservatively for the first run. And we only use Saga gears for our stuff. And there's a reason for that. There are people out there that have other brands of gears that do pretty good. All right, this is a 35 tooth spool. And we get this back together with the perfect pass setup. And then you get to play the rubber washer game to kind of maneuver everything where you want it, which I kind of did a little bit off screen. So let's see if we can put this where we want it to be. The front drive shaft in there. And oh, we got that backwards. Let's flip this around. Built this thing. Works good one way. There we go. And you guys can see very little play. A little bit more than I like, but I've already got 2 rubber washers in there, and it's very difficult to get that rubber washer up under that front part. So we will, I think I'm okay with that. So put our cap back on. 2.5 millimeter screws. Into the PPS mount. All right, there we go. And that's what we're running for a pinion. 44 tooth. Okay, the fun part now. Changing gears on this is not going to be fun. Because before we could run the gear, well, we still can run it that way. Alright. I have to find my Allen wrenches to adjust the PPS motor mount later on. There we go. So back over to the front end of the car. And yes, guys, by the way, I did sneak the new part on there. I will be taking the back diff apart to check the diff fluid. So everything looks good there. Check the diff fluid. Feels a little light to me, so we are going to take it apart. 4 screws. And this is the V2, so it does have manufacturing gearing in it, which everybody runs anyways. For whatever reason, gearing works a lot better. Crack this bad boy open, and we can see it's not completely full. So we will take, once again, our vacuum and we will suck that down and we'll let that sit and run, guys, and once it gets done, we're going to put this diff back in, so we'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. So we got our diff all the air out of it put back together. I put 500K in there, so we're getting ready to put it back in there. And we're going to adjust that so it slides right in there. Always run it back and forth. Save yourself a little time, effort. Make sure you don't put the diff in backwards. So rolling on the back tires and make sure the front tires are rolling the same way. I have put it in backwards. I am guilty as charged with that. I know we all have done it. And we're going to take our white lithium grease, put a little bit in there. A little bit. And just a splotch. I used to put way too much in there. Probably just did. Now, you put too much in there, guys, it creates a drag. In the drag cars, we actually use oil, which I've shown that before. We use this in the drag cars because it creates no drag. Alright. So, now we're going to put our diff cover back on. Wow, that sucker slid right into place. I'm going to get lucky with that lately. Find a 2.5mm wrench. And put this back together. Alright. Put the 2 on the bottom. These are all 2.5mm. And then, well, we're missing a screw. Where did it go? There it is. Hiding over there. Okay, swap over to a 2mm. And put the 2 sway bar screws in. Alright, that's that part. So next we are going to start working on our shocks. I'm going to go ahead and I can see this one's been leaking. So we're going to go ahead and pull these things apart. Find our shock tool. Pretty fancy? Not really. It's got the cap on loose. Again, I'm going to unload the spring. And the new V2 comes with heavier springs right off the bat, guys, so you don't really... The Perfect Pass springs are awesome, but you don't really need them for this car. I highly encourage them. But if you guys are on a budget, that's not a 100% requirement. I've been running the original V1 before the V2 came out. I ran the rear springs up in the front, and in the back I put a fuel tubing over the shafts. Alright, we'll let that sit, drain out, and after that we'll take it apart and adjust the spacer in there. That's interesting. Never had that stick in there before. Alright, and dump that out. It's pretty lightweight oil. I'm going to put a lot heavier oil in these. Alright. Set these off to the side, and I like to get this off before it soaks through. Throw it away. And I believe Austin is going to start selling the side skirts again. This is for the Limitless V2 as it is stock, and then for any of the scorched Perfect Pass chassis, we have he's going to start selling the side skirts for that again, that just double-sided tape to the side of it, so they're easy to replace. You can bolt them on if you like to. I like to double-side them, tape them on there, because it's easy to do and easy to come off. These are 1,000 times sturdier than the ones that we used to print way back in the day, but they still do break. Rarely do I have one break. Anyways, just a little shout out for Austin there. If you guys are interested in any, you can hit him up on Facebook, Austin K on Facebook, or you can hit us up through the YouTube channel. Just leave a comment. He has designed some pretty cool things. I don't know if you guys have seen his Traxxas drag bandit. He made his own chassis, his own A-arms. There's a lot of stuff made these days for things that we can't get, and it's pretty cool. Anyways, we're gonna let these drain and let those sit for a little bit. I gotta find a tool again to get this apart, and I will do that, and that'll be the end of this video for today, guys, and we will be back. Thanks for watching.